So this is the 13th Wolfman, and a while back ago, Mr. Creepshow 09 asked me to do a video on what it was like growing up in the 70s and the 80s and seeing movies and drive-ins. And he asked me about exploitation films. I'll be honest, I don't remember seeing a lot of exploitation films at the drive-in. I saw a lot of horror. I saw The Omen when it came out at the drive-in. I saw Friday the 13th, Part 1 and Part 2 at the drive-in. Race with the Devil at the drive-in. I don't think I saw Halloween at the drive-in. I think I actually saw that in the theater. But those are the movies I saw at the drive-in. Exploitation films like Superfly, Coffee, Russ Meyer films. I don't remember our parents taking us to see them. It was me and my older brother, the Redheaded Monster. Yeah, that's going to be my nickname for my brother. I don't want to out my brother's name on here, so I'm just going to refer to it. When you hear me say the Redheaded Monster, that's my older brother. So, the cool thing was that we had this old pickup truck, and a pickup truck that had a camper on it. Not a canopy, not just something you put up. It was a camper with a kitchen and bathroom, and my dad had figured out a way, to hook up an intercom system from the truck all the way up into the camper. So we would go into the drive-in. We'd pull in there, and there'd be here's the cab, and there's the part that goes over the top of the cab. And my brother and I, the Redheaded Monster, and I would be up there, and we'd be watching out the window. We'd be watching out the window that way, and my parents would be down in the cab. Well, they hooked up this intercom system, and then they would tape down the button, and they hooked the radio up to the antenna and everything, and that way we could hear what was going on, over the intercom, and my parents could hear what was going on over the radio. And so we would, these are the movies we'd go get that we would get to see. This is the way we would get to see movies that way, and it was really cool because the drive-ins were kind of far away from where we grew up. So we always went camping, just like all the time. My dad was like a huge camping fan, so a lot of the stuff that was in the camper was already there for me and my Redheaded Monster of a brother, and so we had comics in there, and he was a Marvel fan. I was a DC fan. I had Batman and the Flash and Justice Society, and he had Daredevil and Spider-Man and Captain America, and so on the drive there, we're reading our just this lottery of comic books, whatever we want to read, Get there, and parents would just kick on to the intercom going, "Everything okay up there?" And it's like, "Yeah, everything's fine, okay. The movie's going to be starting, so if you have to do anything, do it now, We're not going to get out of the truck, and, or if you want, a snack or anything, let's get everything now." So we would do that, and we'd kick back, and like I said, I remember seeing Race with the Devil in the theater. And I've stated this way too many times, and people keep on hearing it. It's the only movie that scared me. I never got freaked out by The Exorcist or my brother, the Redheaded Monster. He got freaked out by The Omen. He was 3 years older than me, and that movie really bent him for life. And unlike my mother and I, my father and my brother, they weren't really horror fans. So when we figured out how we would go to a movie, it's like you do the rotation thing. If we went to a movie, like one movie a week for like a month, Dad would get the first, get to choose, then Mom would get to choose, then the Redheaded Monster, and then myself. And so it was kind of messed up because Dad and my brother they didn't hate horror, but it wasn't their favorite genre, and they weren't really on the same level of what they both liked together. But my mom and I, she'd go, "Oh, well, I want to go see The Omen." She'd go, "What does everyone else want to see?" And it was always my mom and I, basically outnumbering outnumbering the other two, even though they're equal in two. It's like that was just it, you know. So we wound up seeing like 2 horror films a month, and then whatever the other 2 wanted to see. So my brother actually wanted to see The Omen, but it freaked him out. It really, really freaked him out. When the woman jumps off the ledge and says it's all for you, Damien. Yeah, that made him squirm, and it didn't bother me, you know. I mean, I got it, you know. She's nuts. But yeah, growing up and watching movies in the 70s and 80s in drive-ins was a blast. I mean, I don't think there's anything that can compare to it. But if any of you guys can help me out here, you know, I'm thinking of guys like One Quick GT, Spalding 069, you know, Mr. Ramon 420. Any guy that grew up in the 70s and the 80s and went to the drive-in and saw a movie. Horror Show 3000 is another one that saw like movies at the drive-in. Do a video response to this, because Mr. Creepshow09 wants to know what it was like seeing horror movies at the drive-in. And I'm willing to share the few experiences that, you know, that I can remember. But I'm pretty sure everybody out there that's closer to my age has some experiences that they can attest to and have fun with. So please do what you can. I mean, anyone that remembers growing up in the 70s and 80s and going to the drive-in and just enjoying it, no matter where the drive-in was, whether it was in the U.S., Canada, Australia, the UK. Share with the class, please. This is the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl.